I'm just saying, that's just an example. I mean, these are cults like where thou shalt. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. My name is Luke, and guys, thank you so much for joining me today. So, today's topic. Okay, so today's topic, cults. No, it's not those types, not those types. These ones are, those ones are obvious, and I personally believe are not that destructive compared to the ones I'm going to be talking about today, because I know that when people think of cults, we normally think of the ones where a goat is sacrificed and people dance around it in celebration of what they've done. But nope, it's not those ones. The dancing ones are small waters compared to the ones where people can literally go to the extent of killing themselves and their family members or people in defense of what they think is right and righteous. It's crazy. So those are the type of cults we're going to be digging deep into today, because I believe they carry the positive connotations to them, because most people from the outside see these cults as harmless and good. So those are the ones we're going to tackle today. So let's go deep into it. So first and foremost, before I dive deep into the topic, I think it's proper to give a clear definition of what a cult is. So according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, a cult is defined as great devotion by a group of people to a person, an idea, an object, a movement, or work. And by that very definition, guys, it's clear that cults come in different sizes and different shape. But then the question is, how does one know if they are in a cult? Personally, I believe it's really simple, because nowadays, of course, there are a lot of ideas, social ideas that have been presented all over. And like I stated, from afar, they're quite nice and, presentable, and it's good. It looks like, well, if I had to just live by those social rules or social norms or social beliefs or ideologies, my life will improve. And recklessly, just like that, majority of us tend to gravitate towards such ideas. But little do we know that over time, these may turn into cultish practices. And so, yes, by that very definition, we can see that, well, our normal idea of cults, because personally, I thought cults were those, with candles and everywhere. But no. Coming to that very definition, or looking deep into the whole idea of cult, I came to realize, oh my goodness, there is deeper to this than we really think. So ideas, ideologies, movements, groups, certain beliefs we uphold can literally be defined as cults, can literally put me in a place where I'm considered as a cultist, or a member of a cult, just because of a certain idea or ideology I hold on to or belief. So based on the whole definition, you can clearly tell that majority of us carry a wrong, perception towards what a cult is or what a cult should look like. Because, that's what we've been told. The cult is where they wear black hoodies, they sit in a circle and all that. Those are deadly cult. But if you come to our social, our social structure, and we see the way in which society is structured, if you really go deep into cult or really deep into the definition, then you can really come to the realization. You'll come to the realization that we literally have a lot of cults around us, which from afar off don't look like cults at all, because they just look like normal, normal way of living and normal way of doing things, normal ideologies. And yes, that's where the danger, is somehow, subtle. The danger of it is subtle. We can't see the difference. Neither can we see the danger in the ideas and ideologies we are bound to adopt over time. I'm sure most of you have heard of this story. I came across this story back, I think, when I was in grade 11. It's a story of Jim Jones.
People, the peddlers of hate, all we're doing is laying down our life. We're not letting them take our life. We're laying down our life. We're taking their lives. We just want peace.
All I like to say is that my so-called parents is filled with so much hate.
Okay. So he's like a charismatic pastor whatsoever, charismatic leader, preaching the gospel or whatsoever, telling people, oh no, this is it, you're gonna have a good life and all. I mean, at first it was innocent. Like I stated, a lot of ideas or a lot of the social movements from afar off are quite good, but come near or go deep into it, you realize how dark they are, to the point where some people are so oblivious to the fact that they've gone deep and that they're in a cult now and they are practicing cultish practices. Let me put it that way. But anyway, back to the story. So Jim Jones was like a charismatic leader whatsoever. Cool. You guys can go look up the story and find out everything, because I'm just gonna summarize and paraphrase everything. Cool. The movement started off all good and all. Then this guy convinces the people that, you know what, the world is gonna end. Christians or whatsoever are gonna get oppressed. We need to go far away from the world. Cool. Well, some people, being so naive and all, decided to join this man on an adventure to form a town of their own, where they are separated from the government, from the oppressive system, because they belong to a higher kingdom and stuff like that. Fine. So these people decided to move with this guy. The whole journey progressed. The move, I don't know the place exactly, but it was far off from the United States. So they formed Jonestown. They formed their own town called Jonestown. Well, they would do their worshiping, their singing. Jim Jones would come and preach. But as it went on, of course, most people didn't realize it. Only a few in the group began to pick up on this, that no, this group became so oppressive. People couldn't leave. A lot of people had to cut ties with their family members. If you wanted to leave, it was difficult. So all these things started happening. And long story short, if you look up the results of that whole movement or that whole group, you will see that it's one of those event recorded that at the end of it all took the lives of many people. Of course, at the end of it all, he convinced these people, managed to convince every person, over 1,000 individuals, that they needed to kill, they needed to die, they needed to kill themselves. And well, they drank cyanide. I think they poured cyanide into a bowl of punch or whatsoever. Then everyone drank it, and guess what? It was the worst sin ever, I think, in the history of the United States. Yes, in the history of America, I think, according to records. Yeah. So that example, guys, you can go and check out this story, because it's one of the most craziest story. It's long and it's so painful, because there were kids involved. A lot of children lost their lives. Why? Again, it goes back to that. There are a lot of social ideologies or social movements or social groups or social memberships that have been, presented. We see it everywhere. I mean, there's this group, there's that group, there's this ideologies, there's this group. This particular group identifies as this is the manly group, and this is the beta male group. This is the feminist group. this is the manosphere group, this is this group, this is this membership. I mean, all that seems good because at the end of the day, everyone wants to improve their life, isn't it? Everyone wants to improve their life. But where is the edge? Where is the boundaries to that? Where is the line that we should not cross? Otherwise, we are now in a cultish practice, you know, because we should be able to tell, to say, okay, cool. I'm in this type of movement. I believe in this type of ideologies, but when is the limit? Where is the limit that I should not cross? Otherwise, guess what? I'm in a cult. Where is it? Because I believe it is like that. Everything is good to a certain limit and to a certain extent. If crossed, we're now practicing some other stuff. So yes, how can you tell if you're a member of a cult, if you've crossed that line of insanity? Well, it's simple. And the number one sign is, if you're in a cult, the one thing they will do is discourage critical thinking. And that is, they will discourage you from acknowledging other ideas that are not in line with that which they supposedly hold on to as their truth. Majority of groups will tell you, guess what? That type of thinking is not part of our group. You shouldn't question, and you shouldn't try and find out. A lot of outside information that, you know, it's seen as dangerous is not encouraged in the group. So critical thinking is discouraged in this type of group. That's the number one thing. Second point to know that you're part of a cult is shunning and shaming and distancing yourself from those who don't agree with you is the order of the day. So it's one of those things that are encouraged, even though they don't tell you, no, in fact, some group even tell you like directly that if any person does not agree with you, or if any person who is a member of this group leaves, you should shun them, you should shame them, and you should cut yourself from them. Yes, so the number three or third point or third thing or third sign you should know that you are part of a group is the ideology of the group is greatly emphasized. Like you are drilled with the idea of this group and what you stand on. Whatsoever your meeting day to this particular group is it a Monday in, Monday out, you are drilled with the same idea. This is what we stand by. This is what you stand by. It's encouraged, it's enforced, it's emphasized on. They tell you in your face, this is it. It's sort of like a mantra. You can literally repeat it in your sleep, like thou shalt not buy cold drinks, thou shalt not go swimming, thou shalt not speak to this type of individual. I'm just saying, that's just an example. I mean, these are cults, like where thou shalt not wear this type of pants, thou shalt wear white shoes. I'm just saying. Yes, so that's when you know, no, you know what, I'm in a cult. Why is this idea like so emphasized? Like thou shalt wear your mantras every single day so that you see what the mantras are. You have to wear the message of the groups everywhere. Thou shalt not dance in the rain. Like that's when you know what, we've crossed the line. I'm in a cult. That's the third point. And so the fourth point to know that you are in a cult is the highest form of devotion or whatsoever action that is praiseworthy is that which is in line with pleasing your leader. I hope that makes sense. Yes. The greatest form of devotion is in pleasing your leader. Yes, that's the fourth point or fourth sign to know that, you know what, I'm in a cult where you guys are devoted to one leader or one idea. I think that will work also for an idea or movement, like where you have to live your life in, yes, every decision you make is in line with pleasing the members of your group. So if all the members of your group like black shoes, if you wear black shoes, they're all happy. If you wear white shoe, they're all angry. That's when you know you are in a cult. Yeah, let's make the fifth point. Yes, the fifth point should be this. When you're yes, if you want to know that you're a member of a cult, your individuality is not acknowledged. That's the fifth. Let's make that a fifth point. If you want to know that you are a member of a cult, your individuality is literally discouraged. You are not an individual anymore. You don't have individual feelings. You can't make your own decisions. Whatsoever a leader or members of the group decide on, that should be applied in your personal life. If you want to make a certain major decision with regards or concerning your future, you have to consult with the members of those group or with your leader first before you do that. The final point is the us and them type of mindset is encouraged. Yes, so the fifth point, or the sixth point, the last final point, is the us and them type of mindset is so much encouraged and emphasized on. So for those of you who know what us and them, or for those of you who don't know, let me explain it. And that is going back to the story of Jim Jones. Remember how his whole idea of separating his church members from society was that society was evil, the world was somehow ending, the government was going to be so oppressive on his religious group or whatsoever. Yes, that type of mindset where you tell your members, or where you are being told as a member of one group or particular whatsoever group, that you know what, those people, they are the enemies and they are against us. So us and them mentality, again, it goes back to yes. And personally, I don't believe and I don't stand for Black Lives Matter. That's the very reason I don't stand for it, because it literally perpetuates and pushes forward this type of message and this type of ideologies, which is us and them. They're separate, they're against us, they are our enemies. They are this, look, they are doing this against us. Yes, it pushes that type of mindset. Hence, I don't like, what's this? BLM, yes. I'm not in support of that at all. And I don't like it's the same reason when it comes back to the whole manosphere whatsoever. I don't like I don't identify with red pill or blue pill or whatsoever. Hence, yes. I think this is the core reason. Number 6, you see the 6th point is the core reason why I personally hate groups, because they tend to do that. Like we get to that point where it's us versus them. And yes, so when this type of mentality is emphasized, it's us versus them, it's us versus them, it's us versus them. Yo, guys, that's when you know you are in a freaking cult. So in my final words is, the reason why I'm doing this is because I just wanted to make to say it out there, because majority of time I would say I don't like identifying myself with groups. This is the reason why I personally I don't like identifying with groups. I want to think for myself. I want to sit down. You tell me something, right? I want to analyze it by myself, using my personal discretion or personal discernment, let's put it that way, to dissect what you've given me and to see is this the truth or is this person telling me nonsense. Because I use this and I'm a critical personally. Well, I give myself for that. I'm a critical thinker. I like to think about things. I don't just take things and accept them as they are. I like to dissect them and see if it's useful. If it's not, check it out. So yes, let's learn to use this, because it's frustrating. It's crazy. It's so painful. It's really, really, really painful to see what cults, groups, movement can do to people. And so yes, guys, that's it for me. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I guess I'll be seeing you on the next one. Ciao.